some have called a failing nation, become a country everyone calls to stop the U.S.-Israeli war in Iran. On our live stream today, an unlikely player moves to the center of what is perhaps the world's most dangerous crisis. While U.S. and Israeli strikes pound Iranian targets and Tehran's allies hit back across the region, Pakistan is suddenly positioning itself as a go-between, quietly relaying messages, pitching itself as a bridge between Washington, Tehran, and the wider Muslim world, and offering to host talks. Speaking of which, regional powers are meeting at Pakistan's foreign ministry in Islamabad to end the conflict as about 3,500 U.S. Marines arrived in the Middle East aboard a ship meant to support ground troops. Over the next half hour or so, we'll ask, how did Pakistan assume this role? What leverage does it really have? And what does Islamabad stand to gain or lose if this mediation effort fails? Stay with us, fingers at the ready, with your comments and questions. We're really getting into it today. And I can think of no better person to get into it with than my partner today, Binish Javed, who has been covering this story for us.
And these talks are taking place, hi everyone, and these talks are taking place in Islamabad because our sources tell us Iran is in constant communication with Pakistan, and due to that established communication in wartime, Pakistan's foreign minister couldn't leave the country. Otherwise, these talks were initially scheduled to be held in Turkey. So now, top diplomats of Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Pakistan are putting their heads together in Islamabad to try to bring United States and Iran to the negotiating table. This, despite deep Iranian mistrust of Washington, continues to cast a shadow over the process. But they're still trying, as all have huge vested interests for this conflict to end.
Binish, let's start with first with Pakistan. The country's been working the phones. Tell us about that.
So, Michael, yes, Pakistan's foreign minister, who is also the deputy prime minister, and Pakistan's prime minister, they have been busy aggressively trying to reach out to regional leaders. I can tell you that Pakistan's prime minister has spoken with at least 20 leaders over the past week. So they have spoken with Iranian leader, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Egyptian leader, as well as leaders of Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Malaysia, and Uzbekistan. And also Pakistan's foreign minister have spoken with Abbas Araghchi, the foreign minister of Iran, the United Arab Emirates leader, and also Kaja Kallas from the European Union. So they have been trying to speak with these regional leaders, and I think as a result of this very active telephone diplomacy, I would say, we now see that a meeting between foreign ministers of Turkey, of Saudi Arabia, of Egypt, and Pakistan's foreign minister, all of them are now in Islamabad trying to make efforts, or I would say trying to look or go towards a progress that could ultimately bring the US and Iran on the negotiating table.
You're still composed. I don't know how you're not out of breath. That has been a breathless string of activity there.
Yes, certainly. I mean, on internet, there are memes making fun of Pakistan's foreign minister and Pakistan's prime minister. They're always on phone. But if you go on their Twitter timeline, you will see every day we see that they are making these calls with heads of states and with regional leaders.
Well, this heavy lifting is something that they have probably asked for themselves. Why has Pakistan emerged as a facilitator in this conflict?
So there are a couple of reasons. I think Pakistan's national security and Pakistan's economic interest is very important. Also, of course, because Pakistan sees itself or wants to see itself as the negotiator, as the facilitator of talks between Iran and the US. And when we talk about Pakistan's national security, I think it's important to explain to our viewers with the help of a map. So Pakistan has strategic interest in stability in the country. So if we can see the map of Iran and Pakistan, Michael, you can see that Pakistan and Iran they share a 900-kilometer long border. And you can see that the border cuts through Sistan, Balochistan province of Iran and Pakistan's Balochistan province. Balochistan is a restive province of Pakistan. It's hotbed of militancy, of insurgency. There are armed separatist groups very active in this province of Pakistan. And Pakistani officials fear that if there's instability in Iran, or if there are hostilities with Iran, then the militants in this border region could be emboldened, and they can start aggressively attacking Pakistani state and also civilian infrastructure. And therefore, Pakistan has this interest that the border is safe. But then there are also other reasons. If we can show more pictures, Pakistan also has very strong economic interest in the region. So Pakistan has Pakistan shares. Oh, okay. What we see on the pictures are protests that that happened in Pakistan after the Israeli and U.S. Attacks killed the Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei. So, Michael, what happened was that there were protests across Pakistan, and what we see are visuals where protesters tried to storm the U.S. consulate in Karachi.